Hey, what's up? Just want to ask everybody, have you ever felt like you've tried everything to overcome your IBD and nothing seems to be working? Well, I think I've definitely been there at one point in time. And I've dropped a statement to a few people that were med-free at different times in my healing journey, if you want to call it that. And people literally have said, like, bit my head off for making a comment like that. Now I'm starting to understand why they addressed me in that manner, sort of when I mentioned that. And I get that statement all the time, more times than I want to count, that's for sure. But when I look at it like logically, I want you to ask yourself, the chances are you haven't tried everything. Because if you actually tried everything, you most likely would have solved your problem. And to put it sort of like metaphorically speaking, it's almost like when somebody says, how come the remote's always in the last place that I looked? Or how come whenever I find something, it's always in the last place that I looked? And I think to myself, duh, why would you honestly keep on looking if you found it in the first place you looked? You found it, right? And technically the first place, if you found something at the first place you looked, ultimately or technically, it's the last place you looked as well. I remember all the things I tried along the way. I still have a collection of books, health products, all the pills, all the enzymes, all these miracle cures that people said were going to work, that were supposed to be these magical cures that were going to definitely change my life of Crohn's and colitis. And ultimately to remember that to look now and they're just space wasters. They're sitting in a box collecting up dust. That's ultimately about it. But one thing that I did get from all of this stuff is all the worthless stuff led me to a bunch of things that did ultimately work. And that I'm definitely grateful for. I started CrohnsBoy.com for that very reason. I started the website so that people they could avoid spending their money and spending their time and their resources and just look at what I've done the research and maybe learn from some of my lessons. So if you're listening to this video or listening to this recording, and if you're ever thinking that you've thought the same thing, that you've literally tried everything, I want you to logically and rationally ask yourself, is that the truth? Because I hear that comment a lot, like I really do. And then when I hear it in person, when I'm speaking with somebody over the phone, I ask questions. I say, okay, did you try this? Yeah, I tried that. And I go down a list, and I'd say 8, 9 out of 10 times I get somebody that says, no, I didn't try that. I never knew about that. I'm like, oh, really? Or I say, oh, okay. I say, did you try this protocol? And they're like, yeah, I tried that protocol. And I said, oh. Especially when it's a protocol that's worked for a lot of people, it makes me question it even more. And I say, okay, well, can you tell me how you implemented that protocol? Like, what did you do? How did you do it? Were you doing anything at the same time that you were doing that maybe might interfere with it? And the same thing as well. 8 or 9 out of 10 times, I'll get somebody say, oh, I did this. Oh, well, you weren't supposed to do it like that. You did this differently than it said to do it. And they'll be like, oh, I never knew that. So many times when we look back at things, it's really great to speak with people that are med-free and do the stuff that they did. Whether you're reading a protocol, make sure you can literally go back and you can reread the information and say, hey, did I do everything accordingly? Did I do it the way I was supposed to do it? We're human beings. We all make mistakes. We make lots of them. So instead of just saying you made a mistake and not doing a protocol like half-assed or not correctly or maybe missing a huge component, go back and ask yourself, go back and read and say, hey, did I really do this? Did I do everything the way I was supposed to do? And if you didn't, go back and give it a shot and implement the new strategy or the correct way and see how your results are. The truth is, becoming med-free, it's not always an easy solution. But if you're rational in your approach and you really keep at it, you're going to get there. And out of anybody I've ever spoken with that's med-free, they've all gone through that. Nobody got on a protocol right off the bat and things were perfect. It's up and downs and tweaking your approach and going back and saying, oh, I made a mistake. You know, even looking at SED diet book, when I first read that book, when I tried the diet, you know how many times I didn't even do the intro diet when I was supposed to do it. I didn't do it. I just jumped right to the thing because I thought I was past that point. Then I reread the book 2 or 3 times, and it seems like I pick up on things that I didn't even know. And again, I'm not just on SEDs, so I don't want anybody to just isolate that. But there's a whole bunch of things that I look back and I said, oh, my state of mind must have been off because I wasn't doing everything exactly the way I was supposed to do it. You know, but honestly, like I said, guys, if you're rational in your approach, you keep at it, you're honestly going to get there. You know, take a guy like Tom Edison, the guy that created the light bulb. Like rumors have it, the guy tried anywhere between 5,000 and 10,000 prototypes to actually get the light bulb that actually worked and lit up, and it met his standards. So I want you to ask yourself honestly, have you tried 5,000 different things? Like really? You tried 5,000 different approaches. Get my drift? Hey, what's up? If you thought this video was awesome, informative, and hopefully inspiring, and you want to learn more about IBD issues, alternative treatments, and how others have overcome their disease to live amazing med-free lives, then click the link below to visit my site.